In this video, we'll be talking about the mechanical equipment visibility for better coordination on the sheets that get plotted. So this would be a different philosophy than our working views that have different view template settings. So right here I have our symbols sheet open, and this kind of highlights for us how mechanical equipment is going to be displayed in the MPP starter project. If it's new, it's going to be dark like this. If it's existing equipment, it'll be halftone. And if the equipment is for reference, then it'll show up with this symbology. So the reason mechanical equipment is important to show on all the different discipline views is because it's the one element in a project that involves so many different trades. It could have piping connections and plumbing connections, hydronic connections, duct connections, and power connections. So there's a lot of trades that look at these pieces of equipment, and if we can show them on more plans without the plans getting too cluttered, everyone will have better information. So I'm going to jump to a overall HVAC plan and talk about some of the filters that we're using in the MPP. So as you can see, this project uses some rooftop units, and what we're doing is we're showing the equipment on the roof, and we've applied some graphical overrides to show that it's on a level above the roof. If we look at the template for this particular view, it's a filter right here that's looking for any equipment that's on the roof level, and it's applying some symbology overrides, and then it's applying some transparency so that it won't mask or make any of the ductwork underneath hidden. So that's mainly specific for equipment located on the roof. And then also in the plotted sheets, by default, we have all mechanical equipment turned on. So for example, we have water heaters shown that we're masking, and this is the same kind of symbology that shows up on the symbol sheet. We have some other elements like electric unit heaters that don't have any duct connections. We have, in this project, some rooftop units. So now most of these elements are installed by the mechanical discipline. I want to show you what this would look like for the other disciplines looking at their sheets. So if we looked at some plumbing plans, I'm going to go to the overall plumbing plan here. So again, just based upon the rules and the filters that we've established, we are isolating equipment that would be installed by other trades by the type of connectors that are on these families. So again, some of this information might not be critical to the plumbing trade. However, sometimes it could be. We have some storm piping here that goes up to roof drains, and there's a large rooftop unit here with some ductwork coming down. So they're aware that there is equipment in the area with potentially large duct mains. Things like electric unit heaters, again, they might not be particularly too concerned where they are. However, if they're in a location where there's piping dropping, they would want to know. So by default in the MPP, all mechanical equipment is turned on. So we talked about the rooftop units. You know, here's the water heater that'll show up bold on the plumbing plans. And then there's some other elements over here. I'm also going to show you the fire protection plans, which follow that same philosophy. So again, a sprinkler contractor might not care where every piece of equipment is. However, if there is some large equipment, he should be aware that there's going to be some duct drops, there's going to be some larger duct work in that area, and showing this on the plans like this just alerts them to that fact. Also, you know, going through seeing where the fire service is and allowing the sprinkler contractor to know that there is going to be electric or there's going to be heat in that space, just another item of coordination. So I'm going to jump to another project now that has some additional views set up to discuss this. So this is a mechanical room that has a lot of elements in a mechanical room: VAV boxes, an air handling unit, a boiler system, pumps, and this is where you can really see the benefit of this type of visibility control, because everyone's aware of all the mechanical pieces of equipment in a given room. So in this project we have VAV boxes with some hydronic piping. Here's our pumps over here, a boiler, and then the VAV boxes and the air handling unit. We have a water heater in this room that everyone should be aware of. There's a pump here, and there's also a sump pump in this area. So again, just for every trade to be aware of all the different pieces of equipment. If we jumped over to the basement HVAC plan, as you can see, based upon our filter rules, which requires no user input once the filter rules are addressed, it's already masking all the elements that are installed by other trades and showing them for coordination purposes. As you can see, the water heater and pump are there. This is on the HVAC plan. Here's all our hydronic pumps and boiler. So again, just for coordination. And then there's our sump pump. I should also note that if your firm decides that you would not like to show all mechanical equipment on all your plans, you can very easily adjust that by going into the view template, going into filters, and here's the filters that are isolating the various pieces of mechanical equipment based upon system classification. So in the HVAC plan here, we're saying anything that does not have air system classification. And maybe I'll take a quick look at that one so you guys can see some further information. So we're saying any piece of mechanical equipment, that's all we're processing, and it does not have air in the system classification, and it does not equal power, which would be like electric unit heaters. That's what we're isolating with that filter. So again, if you didn't want to show that, you could just uncheck this. If we didn't want to show the water heaters on these plans, you could uncheck these, or you could just remove the filters. You hit OK, and now that stuff will be removed from your plans. So again, it's just based upon your firm's user preference. That is mechanical equipment visibility for better coordination.